What was a time someone assumed something about you that was completely wrong? 1. One time in Japan I asked an old lady for directions in Japanese. I was still a beginner but I tried my best to speak in their language rather than asking stuff in English. So this lady assumed I spoke very good Japanese and started chatting. I tried telling her I couldn't understand and everyone else on the bus was trying to hide their laughter. The conversation went on for 10 minutes and I still have no idea what she was saying. She was very nice though. 2. This happened to me last night. My girlfriend and I are in a different part of the state visiting her parents. She gets 7 missed calls and voicemails from the state police. We call back. A wanted man fitting my description is staying in a hotel of the same type, in our same room number. My girlfriend registered the room under her name so the cops assumed she was shacked up with this guy and we were trying to give them the slip. She gets 7 missed calls and voicemails from the state police. We go back to the hotel that night. She goes upstairs while I have a breather out front. I see the woman at the front desk walk out into the lobby, recognize me, stop dead and immediately turn around. I text my girlfriend, they totally think I'm that guy. Sure enough, not 5 minutes later there's a knock on the hotel room door. I knew it was a state trooper before I opened the door. He asks me questions, hand on his weapon, foot in the door, clearly assuming I'm this guy. I show him my ID, he writes down the information and asks me questions and writes down the answers. He keeps saying you really do look just like the guy we're looking for. You sure you're not him? When I tell him I live in a different part of the state and prove it by reciting the address on the ID, he stops writing, looks at me and says, so you're just visiting for a few days, happen to be staying in this type of hotel, in this room, and fit this guy's exact description. I say yeah. I don't know what to tell you. He gives me back my ID, and on his way down the hall, turns and looks back at me and says, promise you're not him. 3. My ex-wife was convinced I had another family in another state, simply because she heard a kid's voice in the background when I was traveling for work and sitting in a restaurant once. During divorce depositions I once spent a full day being questioned, and half the questions were slightly different wordings of so you have another family, child, spouse, kid, etc. 4. I'm 26, almost 27, and female. I'm 4'11", and have resting nice face. People either baby me or are awful to me because they think I'm a teenager. People constantly ask me what grade I'm going into. I get into places for free sometimes or at kids' prices, especially if I'm with my family and my nieces and nephews are present. It's a blessing and a curse, but people assume a lot about me. 5. People assume I am unintelligent because I am quiet. Being quiet doesn't mean I don't have thoughts. I just understand that not everyone needs to hear every thought that comes into my head. 6. That I was okay. 7. Everyone thinks I'm an extrovert when I'm actually a person expending a massive quantum of introverted generated energy. 8. That I can hear them, because I speak normally and respond without looking at their face. But I'm deaf and exceptionally good at guessing what is said around me based on context, syllables said and cadence, plus can lip read to the point I can basically hear it in my head. Minor context, I'm not fully deaf but at roughly 90% hearing loss, which basically means I can guess where noise comes from. 9. That me and my twin brother like each other.